Today is all about how to stay motivated along your journey to financial independence.
We saved and invested our way to early retirement, and it took a lot of perseverance to get through those last couple years to the finish line.
Stay tuned to the end because we're going to share the one piece of advice that made the biggest difference to our journey.
If you've been following our story, thanks for coming back for another episode. If you're new to the channel, I'm Gillian.
And I'm Stephanie. We're a couple who put in a lot of years of saving and investing until we finally reached the point where we could say goodbye to our corporate jobs.
If you're looking for how-tos for financial independence and early retirement, we've got tons of content for you. So if you click that subscribe and bell icon, you'll be notified every time we post a new video.
Today we're digging into the big question. How do you stay motivated on your path to financial independence and early retirement? Now, it's easy to understand why someone might lose their motivation on the path to get to financial independence. It can be a very long slog. It could be 10 years, it could be 15 years, maybe even longer if you're starting from a position of debt.
Furthermore, the journey to financial independence usually requires some element of sacrifice today for the sake of your future self. As human beings, that's something we're typically not very good at.
So that sacrifice might take the form of living a little bit more frugally so you can cut down on monthly expenses. It might mean taking on a few extra hours a week to do a side hustle to generate a little extra income, or it could even mean working longer hours at your existing job in the hopes of better promotions, raises, and bonuses.
We were fortunate in that we only discovered the concept of financial independence a couple years ago. Since we had already accumulated a base of savings, we didn't have a lengthy 10 or 15-year countdown.
Instead, we realized that with a few lifestyle changes, we could meet our goal within just a couple years, which was great. We were really happy about that, but it was still 24 months to get through. So we learned a lot about how to stay motivated during those months, and we're going to share those tips with you today.
The most important part of staying motivated is to remind yourself why you're on this path to begin with.
Financial independence is about so much more than the amount of savings you have in the bank. It's about enabling the kind of life that you want to be leading. So when we get into this, we should all have a vision of the kind of life that we want after we achieve financial independence.
Whether your vision is to spend more time with family, to focus on community, maybe to travel the world, or all of the above, it's important to have a way to capture that vision in a way that's meaningful to you.
Perhaps you capture your vision with a famous quote, maybe it's by creating your own mission statement, or maybe there's a beautiful photograph or an object. Whatever it might be, it's important to take a minute or two every day just to spend time with that quote or object or photograph and remind yourself of the big picture. What is it that you're working towards?
Because travel was our big vision for the future, we had a Google map with our whole first year all mapped out, and on the weekends we would get it out and we would talk about all the places we would visit and our journey ahead.
We talk more about the importance of having a vision for the future in a recent video, which we'll link up in the description below.
And now a question for you. Have you formed a vision for what your life will be like after you retire? Yes or no? Let us know in the comments because we'd love to hear from you.
Most of the time, the path to financial independence involves taking on some extra responsibility, whether that's being frugal and trying to cut your monthly costs, or maybe it's taking on a side hustle so you can generate some more income. But there are lots of ways that you can make the journey fun.
If your path involves earning extra income, you can explore side hustles that you actually enjoy. So if you like pets, you could try pet sitting. If you like hosting people, you could consider Airbnb. Or if you love designing things, you could create Etsy printables. These are just a few examples, but the idea is to find ways to make your existing interests profitable.
If your path to financial independence includes cutting down on monthly expenses, we suggest that you find ways to make frugality fun. We suggest running mini experiments to see which monthly expenditures you actually value and which ones you can do without.
We tried dozens of these experiments and found that some worked while others didn't. For example, instead of fancy dinners out with friends, we started inviting them over for theme nights like DIY sushi night. And over time, there were a lot of savings and a lot of fun.
We have a video that covers the many ways we tried to save money on our path to financial independence, which we'll link up in the description below.
You can also take this time to cultivate those hobbies that you intend to enjoy during your retirement. No need to wait another 10 years to start learning the guitar.
So consider all the ways you want to be spending your time once you finally get to retirement and start doing those things today. So maybe that's learning a new language, maybe it's cultivating a garden, maybe it's volunteering in your community.
When we were counting down to our early retirement, we would use our weekends to learn about all the places we wanted to explore once we were free.
And actually, this is a hobby that has continued well into our retirement now. So every time we reach a new country, we download a bunch of history books from the online library so that we can get to know the local culture a little bit better.
You can also consider taking a break before you reach financial independence. It's a long journey. Take some time to refresh and recharge along the way. A break can take many forms and be any length. It could be a sabbatical, a mini retirement, or an extended vacation.
Now, we understand that when you're focused on climbing the corporate ladder or meeting your financial goals, it can be hard to take a break because you'll be stepping away from the office or you'll be stepping away from your earnings. But if you're finding that you're struggling to stay motivated and the journey is just feeling too long, that's actually the perfect time to take a break. A break is what's going to give you the energy to keep going.
This is something that I wish I had done differently. From the time that I graduated university, I worked continuously until the day I retired, taking only standard 1 or 2 week vacations. With one exception, I had a taste of a mini break when we relocated to Singapore, and I spent a few weeks rock climbing in Thailand before I started my new job. I came back feeling refreshed and excited about the possibilities in life. And looking back, I wish I'd taken more breaks and longer ones along the way.
We often talk about retirement as if it's all or nothing. So we're either working full out or we're retired and we're lounging at the beach all day.
However, it's possible to relax your lifestyle and slowly ease into retirement while still earning an income. This could be by transitioning from full-time to part-time work or even focusing on a side hustle.
Full disclosure, we did not ease into retirement. Gillian actually worked right up until the very same day that we said goodbye to Singapore, we got on a plane and flew off to Poland. So you can actually see how excited she was on that very day in the video that we'll link up in the description below.
Now we want to share the one piece of advice that made the biggest difference in our journey.
And that is to enjoy today. It's very easy to get swept up in tracking your investments and saving money and planning for the future. But don't be so focused on the future that you end up sacrificing today.
It's about finding a balance. When we were facing down our last year of work, we sat down and made a list of special activities we could enjoy. These were usually cheap or free, and they just helped us do a better job of living in the moment.
If this topic was helpful to you, we have another video right here to recommend. It's all about how to come up with the right amount of savings to fund your retirement. So you can go ahead and click on it now.
If you like this content, let us know by giving it a thumbs up and also subscribe so you don't miss our next video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.